Alright, fuck faces. Welcome back to what is it? Artwod roadmap, specifically form indication, right? It's mainly going to be a lot more of these spheres because that's the most difficult right now. That's what I'm really struggling with. And somebody commented on the first part of this video or this roadmap series or whatever, asking, and I will respond to them. But this is like a sneak peek into the future, right? Or sorry, I forgot your name because it's a bunch of letters and numbers and all that shit. But an active vocal community member, my community of 3 so far. So thank you again for always commenting, Mr. Person's name who I can't even remember. But he basically asked if I would be uploading all of the Artwod roadmap content. Honestly, again, I'm shilling for Artwod in the sense that I encourage people to check out their shit. Like Antonio will explain things a lot better than I ever can, and I'm learning, right? I'm just doing the exercises and practicing the things that they mention and stuff like that, but this isn't a replacement for Artwad's content, and it's very cheap, right? And they have a freemium tier as well where you can check out their content. I personally think it's very well worth actually signing up for Artwod, right? This is me in part shilling and in part being honest. Actually, in part, fucking both parts, I'm being honest, is fucking, like, I literally, I will dick ride that service till the day I die, so yeah, no, I'm not gonna be uploading every part. Not because I'm trying to fucking gatekeep or whatever. It's just I'm only gonna be uploading whatever I need to work on, right? This is fucking literally. I'm 20% into the Artwod beginner roadmap, right? There's a whole part of perspective that I think this is section 2 actually, right? There's or end of section 1, and section 1 has a fuck ton more shit than this. This is literally like one exercise of that, right? So yeah, this is already. I'm not uploading all of it or doing all of them. I'm just doing the ones that I need to work on and I have difficulty with and all that stuff. So yes, to you, that individual, I'll just be working on whatever I need to work on, right? This isn't particularly me going out of my way to not showcase their work or to showcase specific parts. It's just for my own learning, right? Again, Antonio and the team, like, they'll teach it, well, specifically Antonio, of course, but he will teach it a lot better than I'm explaining it because I'm just trying to figure it out. But with that being said, there's one more thing I wanted to say quickly. Is there's this person, Justin Sung. I got his video recommended to me. It was how to become a genius level learner. There's 5 levels of learning, which is beginner, novice, intermediate, advanced, and genius. And the biggest thing, I'm basically technically an advanced learner. I do a lot of the things that people who are advanced learners do. I focus on the most difficult parts, right? Spaced repetition, interleaving, right? All that stuff, like changing, what else? Like actually putting effort into constantly trying to make what I'm understanding better, right? And conceptualize it and actually understand the problem itself that I'm trying to work on. But basically, the gist of a genius level learner is someone who does all that, but high level thinking, high effort thinking is a natural state for them, or much more easily accessed. Like they can think about much more difficult things for longer periods of time. So this is kind of what Huberman says, Andrew Huberman Sensei says as well, which is just think hard as fuck. So going forward, and it's funny, like, because you forget, it's so much to think about when you actually have to practice efficient and well-equipped learning practices, right? And that's like one of the problems of a level 4 learner advance is it's hard to be consistent in just keeping all of these things on track when you're learning. But I don't want to ramble too much. But the point is, I'm going to really, really focus on thinking hard as shit. And hopefully over time, this takes a considerable amount of time, obviously. So over the next year, 2 years, it just becomes a lot easier for me to access difficult, like higher level executive functioning, basically, right? When it comes to my art practice. So yeah, and again, a level 4 learner, another thing is they spend a lot more time thinking in general. So that's another thing is if I'm not drawing as much, know that at least in terms of application, it's also still very valuable to think a lot as well. And with that being said, let me get to this. I can't tell if I'm in a fucking good position to draw or not. It's like a 50-50 always now. Yeah, shit. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. Oh yeah, and that person also left some very nice comments on that first part of their beginner roadmap video that I made. like encouraging me and being like, oh, maybe it's like this. So yeah, I know it's about, they mentioned specifically it's about the curvature of the ellipse, right? And I know that's huge because again, these are just ellipses in perspective going infinitely. Technically, it can be a lot of different things going on, but for the sake of how Antonio teaches it, we're just going to choose two axes. It's for what I'm doing right now, it'll be this way, and then this way, right? But it's got to think really hard about the fact that this is literally a curve, right? And thinking about the form on the other end as well, you know, that's also important. Oh shit, my nose bumped the camera. Giant ass nose. South Indian nose, let it be known. But yeah, we have very strong sneering nostrils. Okay. Already it's kind of getting fucked up. It's very difficult to think about the contour as well as trying to make this sort of crescent shape. So it's something like this. I think it would have been a bit better because like this got fucked up. Yeah, this is difficult. It's very difficult. Anything related to understanding form on ellipses. It's really hard. I think I'm slightly better than I was last time, which is important. Emphasis on slightly, obviously. Okay. Take a little break. That is actually a little bit better, I think. Hell yeah, bro. All you have to do is think really hard. Strain that little vein right on the tip of the head. Both tips, let it be known. So when I say think harder, obviously what I'm referring to, or maybe it's not so obvious, is visualization, right? Visualization in my mind's eye or on the paper, the perspective grid, right? Line quality, those three are the main things that I'm really focusing on, using that extra brain power that I apparently have. Lines are still something that, annoyingly enough, it's is it annoying? I mean, it's kind of just expected, right? Lines are always going to be difficult. It is actually, wow, I think it's a bit better. The power of spaced repetition, interleaving, and thinking really, really, really hard. That line was a fuck up, but as we all know, or for anybody watching who has been watching my content, knows I really struggle with that angle. Anything that's like pushing outward related, right? Especially with the brush pen, with the tip as fine as this. I'll show you another fine tip. I think that's okay. Now, here's the part where I can actually just thinking of some more form indications with the ellipse that can be done. And like that person said, it's really very curved. Again, I do apologize that I don't remember your user handle. It's kind of going around, right? That doesn't look too bad. Again, the goal is I'm going to try to get it more like this, right? But in that nice little crescent shape in terms of lighting. Lighting, form indication, whatever. Okay, let's take another brain break. I think I'm slowly getting better. I just really, I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I'm thinking hard. But yeah, I think the new thumbnail format's also working very well. Already getting more views on it just because it looks cleaner, right? So thank you all for, I don't know, clicking on the video but only retaining 3 minutes on average, pieces of shits. Fucking, I miss the original days of YouTube where people had the attention span for long form videos. The average video length used to be like 20 to 30 minutes. Okay. Now what angle do I want to do is the question. Again, I will do more of this because obviously I practice a little bit of form indication with random shapes like a week ago, 2 weeks ago at this point, right? Just to try this out and to see if, because obviously I wanted to incorporate this into my actual daily practice or my practice in general, and it's very fun. But I think addressing this weakness before we move on is really important, right? It's really important. I think this one's a bit incorrect. And I may be losing the perspective a little bit, but let's keep going and hopefully. That doesn't really make sense. Actually, does it? Because if I'm just thinking about ellipses, it's kind of like infinite comes to a point. Maybe that does make sense. Thinking about just ellipse coming around. I was trying to make it more of a crescent, but I think I just ended up making it a line. It should have been coming down more like this. But then again, I don't think this makes much sense. Yeah, it's a bit too small, no? Because if it's coming around, ends right here. Or actually, it depends on my mind's eye. Like, I'm seeing it from the top left, right? But even then, that doesn't make much sense. Actually, does it not? I don't know about this one. I'm not certain whether this makes sense or not, but Yeah, I don't know about this one, whether it makes too much sense. It's also might just be the fact that it's a bit trippy because it's straight, so there doesn't really seem there's no form being indicated here. It's just straight. Lighting, quote unquote, seems a bit unnatural in that regard. Okay, let's do another one. Yeah, thinking extremely hard on this is vital, right? This is and there's like the rule, the first 20 hours rule, where the first 20 hours should be utilized to genuinely try to understand. And it can and it's what the fuck. It's like the first 20 hours is essentially pivotal when it comes to learning something, and you really and what is it like they say you only need the first 20 hours, like you can really utilize and make use of those first 20 hours. And you know what I realize is the fact that I haven't hit the first 20 hours for anything I've been showcasing. I've been practicing for 61 hours ever since I started my channel, right? There's been 61 videos, a bit more in terms of my own practice outside of the videos, but my 61 videos are representational of 61 hours that I've put into art, right? Since I started recording my art practice. But if you actually notice, because my topics are so varied, there's nothing that I put more than 11 to 12 hours into. So it just goes to show that even then, the progress, there's been a lot of progress, even though I technically haven't really put the quote unquote first 20 hours in yet. You know, it just feels obviously like so much more time has passed because 20 hours or an hour in general is a lot of time. See, it's already been 22 minutes. How the fuck did that happen? Drawing what? 1, 2, 3 spheres? Who knows? Okay. Let's try this angle and really think it through. It's an ellipse. It's a very round ellipse. We don't see the other side, but it still exists. It's important to curve it. Like so. Right? Maybe that messed it up a bit, but yeah, and again, like I struggle with that angle. So maybe it doesn't look the best, quote unquote. Well, I actually wanted this to be a bit more of a crescent. So it's really about thinking about it as a form, right? This one's gonna be a bit wonky. Yeah, definitely a bit wonky. Also incorrect. That doesn't make any sense. I want to leave it as this, but I also want to at least reinforce what I can, right? Even if it doesn't look the best. I'm still thinking, because my lines are not going to be reflective of what I want to do, just because this angle is so difficult for me. But I see this is curving way too fast. It should be much more gentle. Like this, like it would be cutting into that. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Okay, so from now on, my lines are gonna be really shit. Just a heads up. What the fuck is this angle? Drawing like this is so retarded. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, should I just flip the page, or should I just do this? You know. But at the same time, is that a hack? Am I hacking? Maybe not. But I don't know. Might as well. I am practicing my lines, so fuck it, right? I'm also need to work on that. So let's go. Just making sure the paper is centered. All right. Not bad for this angle. Okay, which direction should we put this in? Let's just do, I guess this way? Or maybe I should do it like this, from the top specifically. Let's do it from the top. Let's really visualize this as well. Okay, maybe I want to do a crescent, like Antonio says. So it didn't end up becoming a crescent. That crescent shit is hard because, what is it? Doing it kind of like this, right? Filling out this sort of shape while keeping in mind the perspective, right? It's difficult. It's actually pretty difficult. So, but this visualizing thing and really focusing on that's actually helping quite a bit. But again, this isn't something too difficult. When I have to do this with crazy scooters again, that is gonna be fucky, because that requires a lot of intentional thought. Try doing maybe a little crescent thing over here. A little bit better, but still working on it. Okay. It is getting slightly better, I would like to think. Right, I'm not making any egregious? Egregious? What the fuck is that word? Egregious? I'm not making any retarded fucking contours like this anymore, right? At the very least, they all have pretty decent intent. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's been half an hour. I've only done fucking my 5th one now. Jesus Christ, beautiful. What does that mean? That is a good thing. Why? Because that means I'm thinking with intent. I'm taking my time. See, that doesn't look too bad. Again, I know like these ellipses aren't perfect either, right? So that's another thing to keep in mind. But I haven't taken a break in a while, so let me do that. Yeah, but in regards to also the whole level 5 genius thing, again, what is it? What the fuck? I forgot the guy's name already. Something Sung, right? Just type in how to become a genius level learner. You'll see his video. Really, really good. Guy's very articulate as well. Explains it very well. Oh god, I fucking diddled my goddamn camera thing while adjusting my chair. Okay, it's good. But yeah, it's mainly about studying, like school studying, but this shit all applies to skill learning as well, right? It's all a fucking skill at the end of the day. And for those of you who are watching, you will know that art is a skill. I am vehemently opposed to calling it a talent or a God-given gift or what other fucking stupid ass thing people say, because as we can all see, it truly does take a skilled individual to draw a bunch of fucking ellipses over and over, try to inform the contour of said ellipses. You have to be special like me. Well, to be honest, like again, my friend's girlfriend, I can say she's talented in art because she has an incredible ability to render, right? Copy and render. She can do those two really well. She understands shape language and lighting very well too. All right. What I don't like is how everybody keeps calling her talented as well, because she just is very skilled at specifically the things I just mentioned. Right? It's kind of 50-50. Sometimes, and so many of my friends, like specifically in the things I'm into, they're just better at, right? Like I'm into art. I just happen to have a fucking friend, like she's just like this person I just mentioned, my friend's girlfriend, still my friend obviously, but she just happens to be fucking amazing, you know. I'm into lifting. Many of my friends are just naturally stronger than I am. Sometimes it feels like a fucking joke, just somebody laughing at me that they're like, you know, this thing that you're really into and you feel as if you're making progress in, here's someone who's just better baseline, right? That's why I keep saying I'm average and or below average, because look at all the shit I'm doing and thinking about and saying, oh god, I need to become a genius level learner just to be able to even the playing field and to be decent and to progress decently enough, right? It's the only thing I have going for me that none of my other fucking friends do is piano. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of them fucking picked it up and within a month they're like, so, you know, just gotta accept that fact. Just gotta accept that fact. But you know, she's really good. But even then, I would still say she's skilled, just for my own ego's sake. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay. Yeah, and when I'm talking about visualizing, I'm mostly talking about the form, of course, right? Just really get an understanding of the form down. This one's kind of fucky. Hmm. Should have made that a little bit higher. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I'd like to hear some people's thoughts. Do you just know someone who's just better at you? Not better at you, better than you. By the way, I'm not saying this out of jealousy or spite. Sometimes it's just funny. There's like, wow, life really is a bitch in that sense, isn't it? But you just have to. For me, it's motivation. It's like, okay, I'll literally just work 10 times harder than you, work 10 times smarter than you, and I'll just be better in all regards, right? Her rendering is amazing right now. I can't reach that level. Give me 5, 10 years. I'll shit all over it because I practice and she doesn't. And this is again, this isn't out of I'm gonna show her. It's just it's kind of my own little what is it, the hero's journey in my head. I simply refuse to lose. Oi, 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 oi. Okay, this one was okay. Let's. The beautiful thing about art is it really is just a bunch of intentional repetitions, right? Okay, this one was okay, but I think hopefully you guys can see that I'm starting to get it a little bit better in terms of the intent and the lines. Like the marks are really not that great because again, I'm really struggling with this angle. But if you think about it, even though I'm struggling with this angle, it's getting a bit better. I wonder if I'll be able to fill this page in the hour mark. Maybe not, to be honest. Yeah, probably not. But I'm gonna keep doing this. If I can understand the form indication of something as difficult as a fucking sphere, I think I'm set in terms of understanding the form indication of anything more organic or more rigid, right? Because a sphere, it's you cannot fuck it up in the sense that you have to ensure the ellipses are as quote unquote perfect as you can make it, right? You have to ensure that it is that perfect ellipse, you know, that circle, whatever in perspective that you're looking at. It has to be. That's why you can't fuck it up. But let's see if I can. Well, let's do this side, right? I've been doing it mostly starting from the left side or the bottom. Let's do the right. So that's a bit incorrect, and it's angled oddly too. But perhaps I can salvage. This is the thing, right? The eye can see more than what the hand can do. In most cases, you always want your eye to be able to see it better, in my opinion, because otherwise you don't know what mistakes you're making, right? Like here, I know for a fact that some of these ellipses are incorrect. But again, like I'm also thinking about the consistent ellipse is very difficult as well. Something I want to say. Another thing, I think whatever the Sung is his last name. That man says is when you're doing this, attempting to just think really hard, level 5, the hardest part is to ensure that you don't fall back into those lower level orders of thinking, because that is where the difficulty lies, is the consistency of it, right? Okay, like I fucked this up. So yeah, again, I'm sure watching this is like, why aren't you doing the fucking thing? Why can't you understand? But doing it is like, bro, I'm trying to do the thing. That looks okay, like to think. It's not bad. I think I am getting better. Let me take another mental break. Like, again, the fact that I have to do this shit, like, oh, we'll use this basic effect, make sure to take a fucking gap effect break every minute or two or so often, right? Times 20 your speed of learning, of repetitions in your mind, right? There's all these studies done to showcase how effective it is. All that wonderful fucking shit. So I have to do that because I am not, I'm nowhere near the average when it comes to ability. Another thing that makes it difficult to tell whether you're on the right path when it comes to art is the fact that, yes, artists always say, like especially those who are very skilled, always say that it's very difficult. They say things like it's hard, it takes a lot of time, right? Be patient, all that stuff. Even Master Kim Jong-gi, like they say it takes a lot of time. But and the thing is, yeah, the proof is in the pudding in the sense that you see how much time it's taken them. You see that, oh, they've been doing this for fucking 10, 15, 20 years. But what nobody does is showcase their beginning years, their formative years, the years where they're actually building foundational skills, which they could launchpad off of, and then start creating interesting, whatever, like character designs, environments, whatever, right? Nobody really shows that, to be honest. Even when people start, they showcase some pretty good shit. I'm guilty of that. When I did my channel intro, I made sure, okay, let me start at a point, where like the nice snake drawing, Bulma, Hercules, fucking like Raiden, right? I made sure to start it at the point where I'm like, okay, I can showcase this as my current level of skill. It's been 2 years of practice, right? This is decent. We can move forward from here. But nobody actually shows any of this. You don't see fucking Peter Han being like, hey guys, here's when I was like 11 or 12 or 13, and here's how I just spent hours a day drawing. Here's all the little notes I have, right? Here's me learning as a student. Or maybe he has. But the point is, very, very few artists showcase their formative years or really emphasize these keywords: years of intentional work, years of consistent, intentional, almost daily work, right? Nobody really says it to that level of intensity or extent, and that's what I'm trying to showcase, is the fact that when I am great, which I will be, at least you all know exactly how serious I am and how much work I put in, and also just sort of, hey, he was a beginner just like us, right? He is just like me, for real, for real. Essentially, I just want to be relatable so you can all feel more comfortable giving me money. Right? My come up story. I was there when he had well, I only have 54 subs right now. I literally only have 54 subscribers. So you from the future, you might be like, holy shit, he's huge now, right? And that I am. For some reason, I'm so excessively confident about this, but how can you not be? How can you not be? Nobody's done this on YouTube before. Nobody showcases their progress to this extent, and specifically the way I'm doing it, where it's like, okay, here's someone who just practices the fundamentals. Watch them become someone who can draw like Kim Jong-il over the next 10, 20 years, right? Nobody showcases that. There's nothing like that on the internet. So I'm gonna be the first, and I'm going to be the best. I said it in my first video. I'll say it again, right? And this is more than anything to showcase that even if you're retarded, you can do it, you know? Even if you're shit, which is why I use the hardest pen, by the way, in my opinion. Very, very difficult, fucking annoyingly thin ass brush pen. What is this called? Brush sign pen artist. Really stupid name too. It doesn't make any fucking sense, but it's just funny. I use a brush sign pen artist. What does that mean? Oh, it's just a brush pen. Why couldn't you say that? I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, which way do we want to make this go now? I'm still clearly not able to do the ellipse yet, or the crescent shape yet. So let's try that. I want to make it go like this. But, okay, let's do this way. I know right now maybe it seems like I'm sticking to the same angles, but I'm still trying to figure some things out, right? So it's like this. You see, again, I have to keep in mind that it's all the same perspective, just getting bigger. That's actually a good mental cue. Apart from the form itself, because look, now we can kind of see that the perspectives, like the minor axis started off here, right? Now it's kind of this way. Like it started off this way, and now it's this way. So even then, there's a bit of a curve, and this isn't a consistent perspective, right? Here again, like here, it's actually it's a lot better, which is why this, even though the lines are shoddy, looks more believable, right? That's actually something I just realized in terms of framing it for myself. Is, bro, just think about the ellipses in perspective, right? Because right now it's right now I've been thinking a lot about the form and following the sphere, but I think now that there's a slightly less cognitive energy being used to go towards that I have now the liberty to think about it how I just mentioned. But yeah, guys, if you want to draw, just draw, but definitely focus on the fundamentals. I still don't understand the argument that the fundamentals are boring, and I don't like how a lot of even professional or experienced artists keep saying, I know you think drawing a box is boring. Who wants to draw boxes? It's like, bro, the fundamentals are not boring. Again, that's one of my video thumbnails. I keep saying this. It's we, the person learning, that is boring, right? It's the fact that we can't even seem to derive joy and curiosity from learning something like this. It's incredible to learn about perspective, in my opinion. It's actually so cool because you're learning about how to make something look believable. If you genuinely gave a shit about art and wanting to draw, you would, if not immediately, get to a point where you actually find this stuff really cool. Right? I'm not saying you have to start off jerking off over fucking boxes, but you should definitely appreciate and be interested in what you're learning. If you can't do that, then why are you here? I'm sure we all have something that we picked up faster than most, purely because we were interested, or we stuck with it and learned it really well because we were interested. Right? That's not unheard of. This looks okay. Again, the lines obviously, as always, will need work, but and again, I know the perspective is probably a bit off. Because look at this, it's like turning, right? That doesn't make much sense. We can be honest about that. Like, this doesn't really make much sense. Because the middle point for this should be here. This isn't the middle point. I should have curved it in much more. And I realize that now. So that's good. God, this angle is so fucking annoying. Oh. But again, it's good. And you'll notice that when I speak, my fucking lines get shittier because my concentration wavers. But again, I do need to get into the practice of speaking while drawing. And I know when I speak like this, nobody can understand me because my baritone is too impressive for the mic. You know, doesn't pick that up. Let me take another little mental rest before I go on another tangent about art. Yeah, and another important thing to keep in mind is obviously like look at the mistakes we made, right? So why did this work and this didn't? Because the perspective was consistent here, right? This one wasn't. If this is the middle point of this ellipse right here, this is the minor axis. Minor axis, this is where the middle point should be. What does that mean? That means this larger ellipse back here should be curving a lot more inwards. It should be a lot more like that. Like that, I'd like to think. But it's not, because it's turning as well, right? And now we're losing sight of the main, like here, we've already lost sight of the main, like the ellipse that's happening, right? This doesn't make sense in regards to the form anymore, because why is this turning, why is this such a sharp curve when we still have so much more of this ellipse, right? These over, this area really fucked it up. Like if we just block that, it looks okay, but if you block this, if you block this, it's like this doesn't make any sense. We have an elliptical shape, a sphere essentially, a perfect sphere. What is this texture? Like what is this contour? It doesn't make any sense. So that's something we can keep in mind. And again, keeping in mind, visualizing, fucking really thinking hard about all of this, making sure the lines are accurate is all very, very difficult. These are skills at the end of the day, and they're all very separate meta skills, right? Meta skills meaning that skills within skills, like tiny little skills that are part of that larger skill. What is a larger skill? Drawing contour lines on the ellipse in correct perspective. What are the tiny skills? The perspective, the lines, keeping it in mind, visualizing it, right? So, all right, yeah. What other angle can I do? Well, I haven't done this one yet, so let's do that. Yeah, see, like, it ends up devolving. This is what happened last time too. My last couple ones started looking fucking stupid like this. But again, it's good because this repetition is important. Because without that, we wouldn't be aware of what we're doing. So if we want to make that like this, okay, this one's slightly better. Still end up turning just a bit too much, but overall. That's not bad. I think that looks okay. Obviously, this right here isn't fucking perfect. Again, I'm still working on that crescent, but keeping it as an ellipse in mind is really helping. And maybe I could do something like that's a mistake, but hopefully I can salvage this. That was a mistake as well. That was unintentional. That's okay. This is okay. I actually think maybe I could have made this longer. Maybe it would have been. I think that looks all right. And 57 minutes. So yeah, I'm not gonna draw like this. By the way, when I do this a couple days from now, probably the day after tomorrow, right? This top, I'm just gonna flip the page over because, like, at this point, what is the benefit of drawing like this? what is the fucking benefit? So, I could always just lift the page up and then draw, but whatever. I was even thinking of just like taping the corners of my pages so it would be like this. So this way I can move the camera up a bit higher too, and it'd be like I could be able to draw pretty properly without this little stand thing getting in the way. But I don't know. I don't want to mess up the paper either. So we'll have to see on that regard. I'm just admiring my hand. Sorry, my vernacular as a late zoomer, an early zoomer. Fuck, am I late or early? I'm born in 97. I don't fucking know. Okay. This will probably be the last one, right? Yeah. But yeah, see, just another hour of doing this. And when you're intentional with your repetitions, you just do to the best of your ability. It ends up getting slightly better. Like if we go from here to, like, look at this one versus this one, right? Or even this one versus that one. And again, it's sort of, this is the progress, right? So even within my progress starting here, like I made quite a few now, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I slowed down a lot, as you can see. Even with my progress starting from here, like this one started off pretty fucking strong, and this was okay. This went to shit, right? This was okay. This was This was pretty good. This went to shit. This is pretty good, right? But the ones that go to shit are the important ones. That's when you can reframe and be like, okay, like really think, right? So, okay, first I gotta think about which perspective I want the ellipse in, because they can be in any. It can literally be in any. So we need to ensure that it's consistent, because it's really hard to visualize that. Let's just make it a simple one, maybe? Yeah, like that one, right? Okay. Yeah, that line is... It's okay. Again, I'm trying to think about it, but again, like technically this should be wider because yeah, it should be definitely wider. It should be the same curve as this, not more. Right, we should have more curve, but it's okay. I mean, what matters right now more than anything, that even if I'm making mistakes, I understand in my mind how I'm approaching it, right? That is huge. Because the mistakes will happen. Mistakes will always happen, right? But we need to ensure that our understanding is what's driving the application. And I think even if this looks kind of shoddy right now, in my mind, how I'm understanding the marks I'm putting down and the form that it's following, even if the application is kind of meh, is all the more important. Like, yeah, see, I fucked this up. Yeah, like, doesn't look that good because, yeah, it doesn't really follow the form as much as it could. See, that's a bit better. But again, that doesn't look amazing because I know the issue is the fact that these ellipses in the back are not curved enough, so it doesn't look as rounded as it should be. Well, this one's very curved, you see? That's the difference between these two. But I know that. That's the most important thing. Like, I'm practicing, I'm visualizing, I'm doing my best, and I understand. And I do think I thought pretty hard. Like, I really did try to think as hard as I could about the form and the lines I was putting down, right? So I would say that was a pretty successful learning bout, right? Thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for the tips, Mr. Person with a long name and the interesting, like, dark themed profile picture, right? I will get back to you. You will see this video probably, hopefully. I think you watch my videos, right? A few days from now, which is, what is it, March 12th. So a few days from March 12th. Yeah, this will be Saturday's video. Yeah, this is Saturday's video. So this is, what the fuck is it? That'll be March 14th. This will come out. And I would like to give credit to you for reinforcing and reminding me of the things that I should be focusing on when it comes to the ellipse and the curvature, right? Like, really focusing on the sphere. That doesn't mean I was able to apply it perfectly, right? There were still lots of mistakes. There's probably more mistakes than not. Which ones would I consider good? 1, 2, like, even though the lines are bad, like, the understanding is there. So yeah, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are good in my opinion, like, follow what I'm trying to do. And then 1, 2, 3, 4-ish, yeah, let's just say 4, are lots of mistakes. So look at that, like, my success ratio is essentially 60%, right? So yeah, this is the part of art learning that I want to showcase. Is, yes, I will become a fucking incredible artist. I will make people go like, oh my god, how does he do that? It's like he just fucking conjures these imaginative imaginative drawings out of his ass. But no, it wasn't conjured out of my ass. As you can see, many hours, intentional hours, were spent on this, and I enjoy this, by the way. I want to make that clear. That's what I'm trying to say earlier, is the fact that if you're in the process of trying to learn something, frustration is normal, but try to turn that frustration into curiosity. And I know you may have heard this, and it's something all the people who have gone through the learning process say, but as someone who you can see now is going on that journey with you, right? 61 hours in of recording specifically. Obviously, I have I'll be like 400 at this point because I practice 5 days a week for an hour for 2 years when I started my channel. Whatever, let's just say I had at least like 400 or 500 hours in. But the point is, hopefully you can see that, like you can see, and that's why I'm trying to be more positive, and just you can actually, I think we can all visually see my mindset improving and my ability improving as my mindset improves, right? Quote unquote growth mindset is the more curious and interested I am in my own practice and what works and what doesn't, and just enjoying the process, the better it is for me, because I can't have a bad art session. Yes, 2 days ago I was like, I had a bad art day. You're gonna see the thumbnail today, right? Yes, that did happen. Why? Because I was fucking tired, right? I was like, yeah, I was like tired. I just ate a lot of food, right? Just felt a bit off, didn't exercise, all that shit. But when I'm well rested and when I can actually use my brain, which is why I'm doing this shit first thing in the morning now, and not after eating a bunch of food, I can genuinely consistently apply that sort of positive mindset and just curiosity towards learning. So I hope when you practice, you try not to look at whatever your fundamental practice may be, or just anything you do, as difficult or boring. Try to just enjoy the part where you're putting down pen to paper or pencil to paper, whatever your medium of choice. Although I highly recommend pen, as it builds confidence, right? Like, this is my number one recommendation, is use pen. Maybe not this insanely difficult brush pen, because I've been using it for a year and 4 months now, and 3 months now. Yeah, a year and 4 months. And this shit, as you can see, even my lines are still pretty fucking ass. But if only you knew how shit they were before, right? This is probably this line right here, like this really wonky one, is probably representative. This right here of my best lines, half a year in, when I was using this brush pen, right? So, and I still have a lot of angles that I find difficult, which is good because I can practice those. But anyways, yeah, rambling and all that good shit aside, keep watching. No, wait. Thank you for watching, you motherfuckers, you kunts, as they say. And as always, keep drawing, and please give me the money.